So, first question is tell me about yourself. So, last summer, I worked 2 months as a donor recruiter for la Ligue contre le cancer, which is a big French association helping cancer patients. I was working in the streets, and one day I approached a man who didn't even answer my hello. He insulted me and my work without even trying to understand why I'm here. Would you like to know what I said to him? Nothing. I wished him a good day and walked away. Then I cried. I had learned what it's like to represent a company and a name no matter what. Since that experience, I've learned two things. I could never please everyone, and I will always run into this type of people along the way. But the desire to give my time for something more important that will serve a greater purpose overcomes all of that. Now, the question is, what are your strengths? Last semester, I was in a communication internship and I had to manage the social networks of a company that made point of sale advertisements for luxury brands. Every post, every project I was doing had to be perfect, and I gave my best for that. I would travel all over the city to visit the luxury boutiques where our creation were present, and I would take lots of pictures. This sometimes took me whole afternoons. I would even create my own content because the photos that were sent to me at the time were not aesthetically pleasing enough. I spent hours perfecting my post to present the best of what I could do to my superior. I think I can say that I always want to do things well, and every single thing I do must be perfect in my eyes. I like to excel myself. Next question is, what are your weaknesses? I think that my principal weakness is that I can be too emotional. In fact, it's more about the way that I react to things that happens to me. I take every comment or criticism too personally because I always need to please everyone and be my best self. I have a story about that actually. 3 years ago, I was interviewed like now, but not for an internship, but to get into a university. It was the first interview I ever had to do in my life, and one of the first time I had to be judged by an adult in a professional environment. I was so stressed that it showed in my voice, and I had a hard time answering the questions, even though I knew what to say. At the end of the interview, the person told me that I was way too stressed and that it was ruining the potential I could have shown in this interview. I broke down in tears in front of her. It was really a shame. Since then, I have worked a lot on this part of myself, and today I know how to receive criticism and improve myself accordingly without letting my emotions overwhelm me. Next question is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, in 5 years, I will have graduated from my business school for 3 years. And first of all, I see myself having a stable job in a company that inspires me. I see myself surrounded by a team that I love because it's an essential point for me in like the development of a job. I see myself working hard to earn my job. As for what job I would like to have, well, I've been drawing and painting since I was a little girl, and I started working on a graphic tablet a few years ago. I have lots of fun creating logos and designing products. It's a patient today, but I hope to be able to link into my job in the future. You know the quotes, make your passion your job and you will never have to work a day in your life? That's what I aspire to. That's why I think a job in marketing, maybe in its creative branch, would be a good match for me. Next question is, are you good at dealing with change? Well, yes, I'm good at dealing with change. Over the past few years, my life has been one of abrupt change. After high school, I went to engineering school first because that's what I thought I wanted to do at the time. And after one semester only, I realized that that was not true. I left the school and immediately started looking into business school. I didn't let the sudden change destabilize me. And a month later, I was accepted into a business school in a specialized program that consists of two semesters in one. The pace was enormous, but I managed to do it despite the other changes that happened during the semester. A month after I started this school, the first lockdown came in my country because of COVID, and I had to adapt and manage to motivate myself. After that, until today, I had to deal with a succession of lockdowns and return to school and another lockdowns. But that didn't stop me from being among the best students in my degree, and it allowed me to make another change in my life, going to live in South Korea for a semester. In spite of all of this, in the last few years, I've always managed to put things into perspective and to take the good and the bad and to move on. Now, next question is, do you work well under pressure? I think I work even better under pressure. I'm more of a stressed out person than a relaxed one, but actually, it helps me keep a cool head about my goals. Last summer, for example, I worked as a donor recruiter for a cancer charity, and I worked on the streets for 2 months, and I had one goal every day to get 5 people to sign up as monthly donors for the association. And to do that, I had to get even their bank informations. This particularly difficult obligation, plus my supervisor watching me work, plus the pressure of the daily deadline, kept me alert and aware of my goals. Under the pressure of work, I gave my best and completed my goals every day. I think that without this, I would have maybe performed less successfully. I think personally that motivation never comes by itself. In any work or project, there are elements to respect, and this pressure is essential. Now, how do you make important decisions? When making important decisions, I like to consult the opinions of several people around me to inspire me in my choice. I take important points from each opinion and I think accordingly. I think that our personal opinion on something will always be biased if we only take it into account. 1 year ago, I made the decision to come here to Korea, but it was not the choice to move that was actually difficult. Because of COVID, Korea stopped giving out students' visas 3 months before I left, and I had a choice to make. I was offered to go somewhere else in Europe or to postpone my semester and maybe hope that the visas reopen. But this would take the risk to not going at all if they didn't reopen. Korea had been my dream for years, and I had to choose between safety and that. Despite different opinions that all inspired me, I ended up following my instincts. and my hurts and waiting. It paid off actually because they reopened not long after and now I'm here. The final question is why should we hire you? Quite young, I had to deal with large scale project management, and when I was a senior in high school, I was part of the student office and I was assigned, along with 15 other students, to a Valentine's Day project. Our deadline was obviously mid February, and the goal was to sell as many roses as possible within the school to raise money for a charity. I was assigned with another student to be the manager of this project. I assigned each group a role: marketing, finding vendors, cash flow, etc. And I had to manage everyone. This required a lot of organization, independence, because we had to manage everything without the help of the school. We had to know how to deal with problems because there were bound to be some, obviously, and to make decisions too. On top of that, I had to communicate well with each person of the group. I'm sure that a company like Google is looking for employees with these kinds of skills. Well, I can tell you that this project was completed in time and we even raised the largest amount of money in the school history. Thank you, that's all for me.